Australia is already one of the weirdest countries on Earth. It's got strange animals, stranger plants, and landscapes that seem pulled from another planet. But what if I told you that the northern part of Australia is even more bizarre? It's a land where there are only 2 seasons, not 4, where the tides are so huge they create horizontal waterfalls, and where humans have lived longer than in almost any other place on Earth. Welcome to Northern Australia, a wild, ancient, and utterly unique corner of the world. And today, we're diving into 15 incredible facts that make it like nowhere else on the planet. Forget everything you know about the 4 seasons. In Northern Australia, nature runs on a completely different schedule, the monsoon cycle. Here, the year is split into just 2 epic chapters, the wet and the dry. From October to April, the wet season storms in with force. Humidity thickens the air. Lightning storms light up the skies, and torrential rain transforms the dusty land into a living, breathing green world. It's also the season of cyclones, when nature shows just how powerful it can be. Then almost overnight in May, it all flips. The dry season begins. Months of cloudless blue skies, low humidity, and perfect warm days. Floodwaters retreat, the earth opens up, and travelers set out to explore this dramatic and ever-changing land. Head into the Daintree Rainforest in far north Queensland and you'll step into another age. This isn't just any rainforest. It's the oldest continuously surviving tropical rainforest on Earth, estimated to be 180 million years old. Older than the Amazon, older than the dinosaurs' extinction. The Daintree is a living window into the ancient supercontinent Gondwana. You'll find prehistoric plants like the idiot fruit, one of the earliest flowering species on the planet. It's not named for any idiot, by the way. It's a true evolutionary relic. Now protected as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Daintree is home to ancient ecosystems, rare wildlife like the cassowary, and scenery that feels utterly primeval. Along the remote Kimberley coast in Western Australia, the ocean doesn't just rise and fall, it performs. This region experiences some of the largest tides on Earth, up to 12 meters in difference between high and low tide. Imagine a 4-story building made of water, vanishing and reappearing twice a day. These immense tides have carved out surreal landscapes, including the world-famous horizontal falls. Here, billions of liters of seawater rush sideways through narrow gorges, creating a roaring sideways waterfall, a breathtaking reminder of the moon's pull on our planet. It might sound like a riddle, but in Northern Australia, rivers can flow backward. During extreme king tides of the wet season, massive surges from the Van Diemen Gulf push upriver into places like Kakadu National Park. The tidal force is so strong it actually reverses the freshwater flow for hours, turning rivers into salty estuaries. This strange phenomenon changes everything, bringing saltwater crocodiles and barramundi far inland, blurring the line between river and sea. When people picture Australia, they often imagine endless red desert. But the north is completely different, dominated by vast tropical savanna. Stretching from the Kimberley in the west to Cape York in the east, it covers nearly a quarter of the entire continent. Far from barren, this savanna teems with life, from agile wallabies to massive termite mounds. For tens of thousands of years, Indigenous Australians have managed it through controlled burning, keeping the ecosystem healthy and alive. While Australians commemorate battles like Gallipoli, the country's most direct wartime assault happened right here, in Darwin. On February 19, 1942, Japanese forces launched 2 devastating air raids. More bombs were dropped on Darwin than on Pearl Harbor. Over 250 people were killed. Ships sank and the city was left in ruins. The attack shattered Australia's sense of isolation and forever changed its defense strategy. Today, Darwin stands rebuilt, but memorials still echo the day war came to Australian soil. The cliffs of Arnhem Land and the Kimberley are far more than geological wonders. They are the world's oldest art galleries. For tens of thousands of years, Indigenous artists painted here, leaving behind a continuous story of life, belief, and survival. Some of these artworks are over 20,000 years old, depicting long-extinct animals and ancient Dreamtime stories. These sacred rock galleries are not relics. They are living records of the world's oldest continuous culture. Centuries before Captain Cook, Macassan traders from Indonesia were already visiting the northern shores of Australia. Sailing with the monsoon winds, they came to harvest sea cucumbers, which they traded to China. These voyages created lasting bonds with the Yolngu people of Arnhem Land. Even today, traces of this exchange live on in the Yolngu language, which still contains Macassan words, proof that northern Australia was connected to Asia long before European arrival. European colonists, however, didn't fare so well. Throughout the 1800s, the British tried to establish northern outposts, dreaming of a Singapore of the South. Each attempt failed, crushed by disease, cyclones, isolation, and the unyielding environment. Settlements like Fort Dundas and Port Essington were eventually abandoned, their ruins now haunting reminders of human overconfidence and nature's dominance. In the early 1800s, much of Australia's northern coastline was still blank space on world maps. That changed with explorer Matthew Flinders, who circumnavigated the continent aboard the HMS Investigator between 1801 and 1803. Battling scurvy, storms, and near shipwrecks, Flinders painstakingly charted the coastlines, including the crocodile-filled Gulf of Carpentaria. It was Flinders who gave the continent its name, Australia. His maps forever changed how the world saw this vast southern land. Northern Australia covers an enormous 40% of the country's landmass, larger than all of Western Europe, yet less than 5% of Australians live there. That's roughly half a person per square kilometer. Beyond a few cities like Darwin, Cairns, and Townsville, towns are separated by hundreds of kilometers. This vast emptiness defines the region's culture, economy, and resilience, where isolation isn't a challenge but a way of life. To truly grasp its scale, you can drive the legendary Savannah Way. This 3,500-kilometer route links Cairns in Queensland to Broome in Western Australia, passing through 15 national parks and 5 World Heritage Sites. The journey crosses everything: rainforests, plains, deserts, and gorges, a microcosm of all Northern Australia's landscapes. It's not just a drive, it's a full-blown adventure across the beating heart of the continent. Northern Australia is also the land of mega ranches. Here cattle stations stretch across over 1 million acres, bigger than some countries. Helicopters replace horses, and mustering herds takes fleets of vehicles. These sprawling stations define the region's economy and identity, a modern-day frontier where only a few people manage lands the size of nations. Because of its location near Asia, Northern Australia is also a strategic powerhouse. Darwin hosts major military bases for the Royal Australian Air Force, Army, and Navy. Joint exercises with allies like the United States and Singapore make the region a key player in global defense. Military presence here isn't just about protection. It fuels the local economy and anchors Australia's role in Indo-Pacific geopolitics. And while the rest of the country ages, Northern Australia is young. Darwin has the lowest median age of any Australian capital, just 33 years old. It's a melting pot of over 100 nationalities, creating one of the most multicultural cities in the nation. Most importantly, it's home to the highest proportion of Indigenous Australians anywhere in the country, giving the region deep cultural roots and a dynamic, youthful energy. Northern Australia isn't just another region, it's a world of its own. A land of extremes, ancient stories, and raw natural power. Few people ever make the journey north, but once you do, you realize this is the real untamed Australia. Northern Australia isn't just a place, and it's an experience. A land that's ancient, unpredictable, and breathtakingly alive. From rainforests older than the dinosaurs to rivers that defy gravity, every corner tells a story millions of years in the making. It's where culture, wilderness, and time itself collide, reminding us that the world still holds wild places untouched by the rush of modern life. So whether you're drawn by the mystery, the adventure, or the sheer beauty of it all, one thing's certain: there's nowhere on Earth quite like Northern Australia. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories from the most fascinating corners of our planet. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep exploring.